Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sejahtera and a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I, Fina Nohiza binti Baharul Zaman, as chairman of the company and on behalf of the board of directors, would like to welcome you to the 17th annual general meeting of Alam Maritim Resources Berhad. As usual, we'll begin the meeting with the doa recitation.
A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salamatan fid din wa afiyatan fil jasad wa ziyadatan fil 'ilm wa barakatan fil rizq wa taubatan qabla al-maut wa rahmatan indal maut wa maghfiratan ba'dal maut. Allahumma ahmil alaina min sakaratil maut wan najati minan nar wa afad an-hisab. Ya Allah, ya Rahman, ya Rahim. Kami merafakkan setinggi-tinggi rasa kesyukuran kepadamu, ya Allah, kerana dengan limpah kurniamu telah mengizinkan kami untuk berkumpul dan menghadiri majlis mesyuarat agung tahunan yang ke-17 ini. Ya Allah, Tuhan sebaik-baik pentadbir, kami memohon keberkatan yang berterusan dalam perancangan dan seterusnya mengambil keputusan yang diredai olehmu sebagai panduan dalam mentadbirkan urusan syarikat kami. Alam Maritim Resources Berhad yang tercinta ini dengan kemas dan teratur. Kami sedar dan kami sedia maklum bahawasanya usaha dan ikhtiar kami terbatas hanya sebagai manusia biasa. Kami percaya Engkau Tuhan yang mentadbir seluruh urusan rezeki kami. Justru itu kami mohon kepadamu agar segala yang kami telah rancangkan akan berjalan seiring dengan qada dan qadarmu yang pastinya Engkau maha mengetahui yang terbaik bagi kami. Semoga segala nikmat yang telah dikurniakan kepada kami selama ini kami berjaya manfaatkannya sebagai meningkatkan dan memantapkan ekonomi syarikat kami. Ya Allah, kurniakanlah kepada kami rezeki yang berkat, halal dan berpanjangan, zuriat dan generasi yang beriman, segala kebaikan di dunia serta kebaikan di akhirat. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Rabbi ighfirli dhunubi wa liwalidayya warhamhuma kama rabbawna shaghira. ولجميع المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, even though the movement control order has been lifted, as part of the safety measures to curb the spread of COVID-19 and taking into consideration the highly transmissible new variant of COVID-19, this 17th AGM as scheduled today, 14 December 2022, will be conducted fully virtual and the shareholders shall participate in the 17th AGM remotely via the remote participation and voting or RPV facilities which are available on Tripod Investor and Issuing House Services in Berhad on their online website at the address as listed. To conduct a virtual meeting is in line with Practice Note 13.5 of the Malaysian Code on Corporate Governance 2021 and is in compliance with Section 3272 of the Companies Act 2016 and Article 80 of the Company's Constitution, whereby the chairman and the members of the board are to be present at the main broadcast venue without the presence of the public or shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly ensure that you are connected to the internet at all times in order to participate and vote when our virtual AGM has commenced. The quality of the live broadcast is dependent on the bandwidth and stability of the internet connection at respective locations of the participants. Without further ado, may I now introduce my fellow directors who are present and would appreciate if the respective board members could wave at the camera when their names are called. Firstly, I would like to introduce our Group Managing Director, Group Chief Executive Officer, Dato' Azmi bin Ahmad. Next is our Deputy Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director, Encik Syamsu bin Saad. Next is our Independent Non-Executive Director, Encik Ahmad Rohaizat bin Hashim. And finally, Encik Ahmad Hasanuddin bin Ahmad Kamaluddin, our Executive Director. We also have with us our CFO, our Group Chief Financial Officer, Encik Muhammad Nasir bin Noor, and the Company Secretary today is Cik Siti Nordiana binti Muhammad Sah. Also joining us remotely is our external auditors, Mr. Kenny Yo from Messrs. Baker Tilly Montero Heng, PLT. We shall now proceed with the meeting. Under Article 78 of the company's constitution, 2 members present in person by proxy or by corporate representatives are entitled to vote. I am informed that we have received 9 valid proxy forms representing approximately 334,498,748 ordinary shares or 21.84% of the total issued and paid up capital of the company. I would like to call upon the company secretary to confirm the quorum of this meeting, to convene the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Based on the share registrar data report, the total number of persons participating in the remote participation and voting of this annual general meeting is 33 people. I hereby pass to Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The company secretary has confirmed the presence of the requisite quorum. I hereby call this meeting to order. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice of the 17th AGM was announced to Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad and advertised in the Star on 31st October 2022. The notice of the 17th AGM is also incorporated on pages 117 to 121 of the 2021-2022 annual report. The said notice was circulated as per the required notice period. We trust that the said notice is well read. With your permission, I shall declare that notice of the meeting has been taken as read and we shall proceed with the business at hand. I hereby declare that this 17th AGM is duly convened. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the agenda of the meeting, we would like to present to you a video of our financial highlights and the company's performance for 2022.
Good morning to all esteemed shareholders and a very warm welcome to our 17th annual general meeting. We have prepared a brief presentation on financial performance of Maritim Group for the financial period ended 30 June 2022. Apart from the financial overview describing key financial results for the recently concluded financial period, we will also be sharing the progress of the ongoing corporate exercises and market outlook for the oil and gas industry going forward. These are the key numbers for our financial performance for 18 months period ended 30 June 2022, with comparative figures for 12 months period ended 31st December 2020. Revenue was recorded higher than the previous financial year, with an increase of 17.7%, mainly due to higher revenue derived from both OSV and OIC and subsea business segments. The group recorded a net loss for the year of Rm 209.5 million due mainly to higher impairment losses on vessels and equipment. The average vessel utilization rate of owned vessel increased from 33% to 61% for the financial period under review. The group's total order book stood at Rm 364 million as at 30 June 2022, which will provide earnings visibility over the next 1 to 2 years. Daily charter rates were generally depressed, ranging from USD 0.7 to USD 1.0 per brake horsepower. Our debt to equity ratio has increased to 1.49 times due to reduction in the total equity as a result of losses incurred during the financial period. This graph illustrate financial performance of the group in terms of revenue and loss before taxation for FPE 2022 with comparative figures for the past 4 years. Alam Maritim Group reported an increase in revenue arising from higher vessel utilization rate for OSV segment. The other contributing factor is the increase in revenue derived from OIC and Subsea segment during the financial period under review. The financial results showing lower loss before taxation year-on-year have been partially contributed by improvement in operating margin for OSV segment, despite losses recognized for OIC project. In addition, the lower impairment losses on other receivables as compared to FY 2020 is another contributing factor to the slight improvement in our financial performance. The OIC and Subsea segment continues to be the superior segment with revenue contribution of 73% as compared to 27% derived from OSV segment. The growth of OIC and Subsea segment is expected to continue going forward, in line with the group's aspiration to become an integrated services provider. The OSV segment has improved marginally with an average vessel utilization rate of 61% against 33% from the preceding financial year. This is primarily due to higher rates of readiness of vessels to be deployed to support the oil and gas activities. This is despite the flat market affecting daily charter rates as a result of softening demand for supply and utility vessels in Malaysia. Continuous efforts are required to realign our business strategies to boost our competitive edge, which in turn will help to increase our market share in both OIC and Subsea segment as well as OSV segment. Against the backdrop of weak OSV market and poor conditions of ideal vessels, assessment for impairment in value was carried out for all vessels for the financial period ended 30 June 2022. The group has recognized direct impairment losses on vessels and equipment to the tune of RM 109.5 million for all affected wholly owned vessels in our fleet. Furthermore, we were also hit by additional impairment losses on trade and other receivables totaling RM 32.3 million. The group's debt-to-equity ratio has increased from 0.86 times to 1.49 times as at 30th June 2022 due to losses suffered in the financial period under review. In order to sustain efficient capital cost management, the group continues to undertake its corporate debt restructuring initiatives to reduce our debt obligations to a manageable level. The group has taken proactive steps to turn around its business and pursue recapitalization program in view of lowering the gear ratio going forward. The group was admitted into Corporate Debt Restructuring Committee (CDRC) on 1st July 2021 to restructure the outstanding debts owing to the financiers and suku holders. The advisors led by Sage 3 have been working closely with all stakeholders in view of reaching an amicable solution through corporate debt restructuring scheme. The restructuring scheme in essence comprises Stop the Bleed and Sweat and Dispose programs, debt settlement schemes, and fresh capital injection by potential investor. Substantial progress have been made whereby we have obtained approval in principle from all the unsecured creditors bank and 3 out of 6 secure creditor banks. This corporate restructuring exercise is to be implemented in conjunction with the regularization plan to address the current PN17 status. The group triggered PN17 status on 31st October 2022 when the auditors expressed a disclaimer of opinion in company's audited financial statement for the financial period ended 30 June 2022. Apart from the monthly announcement from the status update, we are required to submit a regularization plan within 12 months from the date of the first announcement. Mercury Securities, together with other appointed advisors, have been engaged to assist us in formulating a comprehensive regularization plan to address the PN17 status. The proposed corporate restructuring exercise will comprise the proposed internal reorganization, share capital reduction, share placement exercise, and disposal of assets/entities. The regularization plan via the proposed corporate restructuring exercise is targeted to be submitted to Bursa Malaysia by 30 September 2023. On the market outlook, Malaysia's stellar growth in 2022 should provide a sturdy base for growth in a challenging 2023, albeit a slower one with expected GDP growth of between 4% to 5%. Domestic demand will remain the key driver for growth next year, supported by the continued recovery in the labour market and existing policy support measures. Malaysia cannot escape the ripple effects from slower global growth next year, which will directly soften external demand and dampen Malaysia's export performance. The outlook for the oil and gas sector is expected to remain stable, propped up by the decision of the OPEC and its allies OPEC Plus to scale back production from November 2022. Brent crude oil prices forecast for 2023 and 2024 are US $90 per barrel and $80 per barrel respectively, to impute the lower supply from OPEC Plus, coupled with the expectation of lower production in the US. The year-on-year price projection decrease from 2023 to 2024 is based on the assumption that there would be a gradual increase in global supply, as well as the uncertain economic outlook. The Petronas activity outlook for years 2022 to 2024, as announced in December 2021, indicates a steady outlook for production support, drilling, fabrication, and installation of wellhead platforms and subsea facilities, as well as decommissioning facilities. Similarly, the group foresee a positive outlook for the Malaysian oil and gas sector, where more upstream activities are expected in 2023 and 2024. With that, we hope the demand for OSV will be positively impacted, driving increased vessel utilization and daily charter rates. Thank you for your attention. Stay safe, and we hope to see all of you again next year.
Thank you for the video presentation. I hope the video had provided our shareholders with useful and helpful insights on the company's performance and outlook going forward. Before we proceed to the agenda of the meeting, I would like to state the procedure to be followed in tabling and approving the resolutions of the meeting. As per the administrative guide details for the shareholders on the conduct of a fully virtual meeting, which has been uploaded in the company's website and Triforce website. To ensure the smooth running of the meeting, questions raised by shareholders shall be attended to during the question and answer session, which will be conducted before e-polling. Ladies and gentlemen, under paragraph 8.29a of the main market listing requirements, Alam, being a listed issuer, must ensure all resolutions set out in notice of the 17th AGM will be put to vote by way of RPB. As informed, 8 resolutions are on the agenda for this meeting. The polling process would be conducted upon the completion of the deliberation of all the 8 resolutions. In this regard, I will exercise my right as a chairperson of the meeting to demand polling in accordance with Clause 84 of the company's constitution. The board is pleased to inform you that Tricor Investor and Issuing House Services Sdn Berhad, or Tricor, the company's share registrars, have been appointed as the poll administrator to conduct the polling process, and Scrutineer Solutions Sdn Berhad, Scrutineer, has been appointed to verify the poll results. With that, I would like to invite the representative from Tricor to explain on the online voting procedures through the RPP application.
Dear shareholders and proxy holders, the steps for you to cast your vote via Tricor's Remote Participation and Voting (IERPV) application are as follows. When you are on the live stream meeting page, click on the Go to Remote Voting Page button below the query box. Read and agree to the terms and conditions and confirm the declaration. Select your CDS account number and click the Vote button. Indicate your voting instructions either for or against or abstain for the resolutions that are tabled for voting and click the Next button. Review your votes casted and click on Confirm to submit. Download the document for remote voting for your record if required. To return to live stream meeting page, click on the live streaming button on the right. Alternatively, if you wish to listen to meeting proceedings while you are submitting your votes, you may click on the corporate exercise or corporate event button on the left side of the screen and open the link in New Window. Under a new window, select the corporate event for the relevant company, Remote Voting AGM or EGM. Follow the same steps as mentioned earlier on how to cast your votes remotely. Shareholders and proxy holders, kindly be informed that our voting system allows you to vote for all the resolutions at one time. Please ensure that you have completed voting on all the resolutions before you confirm the submission of your votes. Once the chairman announces the end of the voting session, the system will not allow you to submit your votes. Therefore, please ensure you submit your votes timely before the voting session ends. If you have any questions to raise to the Board of Directors, please submit your questions in the query box, which is available on live stream meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the agenda items. The first on the agenda is agenda number 1, which is to receive the audited financial statements for the financial period ended 30th June 2022, together with the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. Ladies and gentlemen, as this first agenda is meant for discussion only, it does not require the formal approval of shareholders. It will not be put forward for voting. For your information, Alam has changed its financial year ended from 31st December to 30th June 2022, as per the Bursa announcement dated 25th August 2021. Notwithstanding, shareholders are invited to raise questions and to seek clarifications on the audited financial statements and reports as mentioned earlier during the Q&A session, which will be conducted before e-polling. We shall now move to agenda number 2, which has two ordinary resolutions. Resolution 1 and 2 deal with the re-election of directors who retire pursuant to Article 101 of the company's constitution and being eligible have offered themselves for re-election. The directors concerned are firstly Encik Ahmad Rohaizat bin Hashim and secondly Encik Shamsul bin Saad. Agenda 2, Resolution 1. Encik Ahmad Rohaizat bin Hashim, who is our independent director of the company, has offered himself for re-election. His profile can be referred to on page 44 of our annual report 2021-2022. With regard to ordinary resolution number 2, to propose the re-election of Encik Shamsul bin Saad pursuant to Article 101, Encik Shamsul has been appointed on the 2nd of March 2021 to the board of this company, and his profile can be referred to on page 43 of our annual report 2021-2022. We shall now move to agenda number 3, ordinary resolution number 3, which is in relation to the approval of the payment of directors' fees and to the non-executive directors amounting to $568,763 ringgit and 72 cents for the financial period ended 30th June 2022, which covers a period of 18 months from 1st January 2021 until 30th June 2022. The next agenda item is agenda number 4, ordinary resolution 4, and this is in relation to the approval of the payment of directors' fees and remuneration based on the remuneration structure as disclosed in explanatory note number 3 or Roman 3 for the period from 1st July 2022 until the next annual general meeting of the company to be held in 2023. We shall now move on to agenda number 5, which is in relation to the reappointment of Messrs. Baker, Tilly, Montero, Heng, PLT as auditors of the company until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting, and to authorize the directors to determine their remuneration. The next agenda item, which is agenda item number 6, is deemed as special business. As I am the director standing for the reappointment, I will pass the chair to Dato' Azmi bin Ahmad to conduct the proceeding of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Morning. The sixth agenda, Resolution 6, refers to the proposed continuation in office of Puan Pina Nurhaliza binti Haji Baru Zaman as independent non-executive directors in accordance with the latest Malaysia Code on Corporate Governance 2021 that states the board must justify and seek shareholders' approval in the event it retains as an independent director a person who has served in that capacity for more than 9 years. Puan Pina Nurhaliza binti Haji Baru Zaman, or normally addressed as Puan Pina, has served the company for a cumulative period for over 9 years since 21st October 2010. The board nomination and remuneration committee and the board have assessed the independence of Puan Pina, who has served the company for a cumulative term of more than 9 years, and recommend for her to be detained as an independent non-executive director based on the justification as per the notice. We would like to propose that, subject to the passing of Resolution 6, approval be and is hereby given to retaining Puan Pina, who has served as independent non-executive director of the company for a cumulative term of more than 9 years. Be and is hereby authorized to continue to act as an independent non-executive director and to hold office until the conclusion of the next AGM of the company. Puan Pina's profile are set out on page 40 of the annual report 2021-2022. Ladies and gentlemen, since this resolution involves Puan Pina, she will abstain from voting in respect of Resolution 6. She has also ensured that persons connected to her will abstain from voting on this resolution. I hereby pass the chair to Puan Pina as the chairperson of the meeting, and we should now move to the next agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato' Azmi. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now move on to agenda number 7. which is the authority to issue shares pursuant to Section 75 and 76 of the Companies Act 2016, which, if approved, will empower the directors to issue and allot new ordinary shares up to an amount not exceeding 10% of the company's issued share capital at any time until the conclusion of the next AGM for the company to raise funds and to exercise any options under the company's ESOPs. Next, we shall move on to agenda number 8, which is to seek authority to purchase up to 10% of the company's own shares, of which the details of the proposal have been circulated in the statement to the shareholder dated 31st October 2022 at Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad's announcement and the company's website. I shall take that the text of the resolution and notice of this meeting as having been read. Next, item 9 of the agenda is to transact any other business for which due notice shall be given. I have been informed by the company secretary that there are no other business to be transacted. Ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned earlier, we have now come to the question and answer session where we will respond to the questions raised by the shareholders. We have received one question from Mr. T. Beng Chu. I read, please give us some e-vouchers, e-wallet for attending this RPB as a token of appreciation. Thank you. I think the company wishes to record our appreciation to the shareholders for attending this AGM virtually. However, the company does not provide any e-voucher to shareholders in view of the company's current position. We hope it will be better next year, inshallah. There's another question from Mr. Go Ango. May I know what is the company's future outlook? I humbly request Board of Directors to give e-wallet or e-voucher to attendees as a token of appreciation. I believe the token sum is small, manageable, and within annual budgeted expenses. Mr. Go and shareholders, the company's future outlook for the group is influenced by the level of capital expenditure spending by the oil majors, which is in line with the volume of exploration and production activities. Based on the recently issued Petronas Activity Outlook for 2022-2024, Petronas maintains its prudent view on the industry outlook and will respond with cautious optimism, particularly on new capital projects. Notwithstanding the above, the directors will continue to exercise due care in managing and implementing strategies for the group's business and will ensure that shareholders' values are strategically enhanced from time to time. Thank you. Do you have any further questions? Okay. A question from Mr. On Wu Ming. When will the company be delisted from Bursa Malaysia? The intention of the company is to submit proposed regularization plan within the time frame provided by Bursa. We have engaged Mercury Securities as principal advisor to submit our proposed regularization plan. The Board of Directors shall comply with all required disclosure requirements specified under the Practice Note 17. So follow us, keep tab of the progress going forward. From Mr. Teh Siu Wei, I would like to request a printed hard copy of the company's annual report. We wish to inform that as part of our dedicated commitment to sustainable practices on Go Digital and paperless, we will not provide the hard copy for annual report 2022. Shareholders can now switch to e-documents rather than receiving them by post. So those are the questions that we received today. Since there are no further questions, and since we have dealt with all the items on the agenda, I shall now put all 8 resolutions to a vote by poll. You may proceed to vote via online remote voting now if you have not done so. The voting session will be closed in 5 minutes. Should you encounter any problems, kindly contact the TriCore support line immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, the online voting session is now closed. Thank you for voting. Your votes will now be counted by the poll administrator and verified by the scrutineer. It will take some time to tabulate the result of the resolutions, which we will announce later. I therefore would like to propose that the meeting be adjourned for about 20 minutes and we will reconvene by 11 p.m. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I now call the meeting to order for the declaration of the results. The scrutineer has confirmed and handed to me the poll results as shown on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results as displayed, I shall declare that all resolutions that are tabled at today's meeting as carried. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the 17th Annual General Meeting of the company today. Thank you once again for taking the time to participate in this annual general meeting. I would like to thank the technical crew for the smooth handling of the live stream. Please stay well and stay safe. And we'd like to wish everyone happy, festive, and happy and New Year holidays. And as there is no other business, I now declare the meeting closed. Thank you.